Good morning, students. So today we can start with that is the last session of our module number 5. So how to developing our first EJB model. So when you go for the EJB model for configuration, first we know that what is EJB and EJB overview, types of EJB, and what are the benefits of EJB. You should know that. So I think it is already done. That is the benefits, types, and overview of EJB. That is an introduction to the EJB in the module number 5. Okay, no problem. I can once again, explain the overview, types, and benefits of EJB. So EJB is nothing but that is enterprise Java beans. So we can call it as an EJB. And it is a development architecture for building a very highly scalable and robust enterprise level of application to develop on the complete application server of J2EE. So in that case, we have to using such of the application such as JBoss, that is Java Boss, and the WebLogic, etc. So this is the main concept we have to use to develop the EJB concept. So in that case, when you developed in the EJB version 3.0, we have to shift from EJB 2.0 because and makes the development of EJB is a base application. So quite we are very easy to using the specification that is EJB 2.0 when compared to the EJB 3.0. And in that, we develop to provide the comprehensive unstandard about the EJB concept. It is more helpful to create and deploy an enterprise level of application to run the EJB concept by using J2EE, the complete application server. When you go for then an overview of EJB, so it is a stand for Enterprise Java Beans. And when you go for the EJB, is an essential part of J2EE platform. It means that when you're running the EJB application, so the platform we have to using J2EE platform. So that J2EE platform has containing many of the component, and it is a based on the architecture. We have to provide the multi-thread, distributed, and highly transactional features to develop the enterprise level applications. So when you go for the EJB, it provides an architecture to develop and deployment component based on the all the whatever the enterprise application we are considering. Already we know that it is a scalable, robust, and a high performance. So by using to provide the EJB. An EJB application can be deployed on any of the application server with help of the complete with the J2EE 1.2 standard specification. So this is a brief introduction about the EJB overview. Then we can move to the types. So there is a 3 categories of EJB can be divided. The first one, the session bean, second one, entity bean, and the third one is a message driven bean. So we can also call it as MDB. So in the examination, we can ask for the explanation of MDB. So you should know that what is MDB. It is a message driven bean. It is very important to execute the EJB specification of the application server. So first we can go for that is a session bean. What is session bean? So session bean store the data, whatever you input the data of the particular user, and it is in a single session. So user data can store in our database in the form of a single session. The single session, it may be a stateful or stateless. So later, I think already know that what is stateful and stateless session bean. So it is a very less resource we have to using when the session bean, and the intensive as a compared to the entity bean means when you compare to the another category of entity bean, it is more intensive. And when using the session bean, it get destroyed as soon as our user session terminates. So this is by using the session bean. When the session bean is destroyed as soon as the user session is terminated, then we can go for that is an entity bean. So entity bean can represent the persistency of our data storage. When the user data can be saved to database. Suppose in case I have to input the data into our database, it is via the entity bean, and later on it can be retrieved from database in the entity bean. So this is the middleware of the data, whatever you input to the database. So it is the acts as a middleware, because when you input the data, the user save to the database. So the middle of the entity bean will be accessed, and once you retrieved from database by using this entity bean. And the third one is that is an MDB. What is MDB? MDB is nothing but a message driven bean. So message driven bean are used to at the context of JMS. Means context means what the language you are using. Of using that is a Java message service. We can call it as an JMS. So you should know that it is a what is the stand for JMS? That is the Java messaging service. So when you're using the message driven bean, so we can consume the Java message service from the external entity and act accordingly, because we have to use the context of JMS, and by using the external entity, so depends upon the what the context of language you are using, then only they act accordingly on the context of JMS, nothing but an Java message service. So this is a history of the message driven bean. Then we can go for the benefits of EJB. So the following are a very important benefits of using EJB concept. The first one is we have to simplify it, and the second one, when you're using the application server or the EJB container, and the third one is EJB container. So what do you mean by the simplified development? By using the simplified development of means we have to using a very large scale of enterprise level of application. In that case, we have to use to simplify the large scale of enterprise level into our EJB concept. And the second benefits, the application server or EJB container, it provides most of the system level service, means it is commonly whatever the other system level of using the service, like the transaction, or it may be a transaction, or it may be handling the another exception handling, or any of the logging or load balancing, persistency mechanism, expectation handling, and so on. So we have to using this application server or EJB container. So when you go for the developer has focus only on the business logic of the application. So this is very important in the examination of the point or the technical interview. You can ask the what is the benefits of EJB, means we have to develop our EJB. It should focus only on the business logic of the application. So this is a technical point to be remember. The benefits of EJB, nothing but it is a business logic of the application to develop the any of the application server by using the EJB. And when go for the EJB container, it manages the life cycle of EJB instance. Instance means we have to create instantly of the EJB object by to manage us the all the life cycle of EJB instantly, so that the developer need not to worry about to create the EJB object or we are delete the EJB objects. So this is no, don't worry about the instance. We can create the object of EJB or we can delete the EJB objects. So these are the benefits of using the EJB. So this is the brief introduction. So we can go for that is the EJB environment. So this is the that is the introduction. So today we can start with and very important concept. So we are using how to set up the environment of EJB. So this is very, very important. You can see that when you the question number of lab 11, 12 and 13. See the lab number 11, 12, 13. So it should be based on the EJB concept. So first, so when you executing the number 11, 12, 13 of the lab programs, so first you should set up the environment of EJB. So you can go by one by slide. So in the slide it containing how the environment of our system of operating system can be configured and how they set the Java environment. So it containing there is a 7 step to set up the environment of EJB. So we can go by one slide. So we can should clearly note that or after this class, I will send this PPT in our Google Classroom, so we can easily understanding how the EJB can set up the environment in your system. So we can go by the steps. So EJB is nothing but it is a framework for Java. So the very first requirement is to have the JDK. So JDK is nothing but that is a Java development kit you can install in your system. So this is the main first concept of using to set up the environment of EJB. First, we have to install the JDK. So I can explain some of the JDK system requirement. So it may be a version 1.5 or above. We are using the JDK, and the memory, disk space, and operating system is no minimum requirement. So in another word, there is no minimum and maximum requirement of memory or maximum or minimum of disk space or any other operating system we have to use it. So there is no minimum requirement. So this is the first concept. So when you run an environment setup of EJB, first we have to install the 1.1, 1.5 and above of JDK in your system. So you can go by step how we have to set up our environment. So first step is we can verify Java installation in your system. First, we know that so whether our system is installed Java. So now we can open the console and execute the following Java command. I can explain operating system by using how to using Windows, Linux and Mac operating system. Suppose in case you have to run the Windows platform in your system, so you should know that whether it is installed the Java. First, you can open the console. Is nothing but a command consoling write C:/ greater than Java version. So in that case, you can find out the Java is there in your system. Suppose in case you have to installing in the Linux, you can execute. So open the command terminal and $symbol Java is there. First you should order. Suppose in case you have to using a Mac, open the terminals and you should write the machine cap, that is you can symbol and the JOSEPH $symbol Java you should write down. So in that case we can find out the Java in our system. So this is by using the operating system Windows, Linux and Mac operating system. Next, and we can verify the output once the Java is there. So we can verify the output of all the operating systems of the command. Suppose in case you have using the Windows, that is you can find out the Java version is 1.6.0_21 is there. If you Java, that is a trademark of SC standard edition running time environment and build 1.0.0_21, and we can find out the Java hotspot of terminals, that is 64-bit server VM and build the 23 and mixed mode. So the later we can see that other operating system is Linux or another operating system is Mac operating system. So these are you can verify when you first install the Java in your system and whether you can find out the JDK is 1.5 and above is installed. So if you do not have any Java installed, so you can install the Java Software Development Kit by using a link or website, that is www.oracle.com. You can easily find out to install in your system, that is a Java Software Development Kit. So we can assuming if you want to using the version of Java 1.6.0_21 as installed version, for in this tutorial we can explain. So when you go for this next slide, first you should know that the development kit, that is a software of Java development kit, that is the version is 1.60.6_21 is installed in the oracle.com. Then that is the second step. So first step, we can verify the Java installation in your system. So second step, I have to set the Java environment. So set the Java home environment variable to point the base directory location where Java is installed in your system. So where means nothing but we can set the path Java environment, that is by using the Windows, Linux and Mac operating system. We can go for the Windows, set up the environment variable, that is Java_home. So we can write C:/program files /Java/JDK 1.0. 6.0_21 is there. So first you can set the Java environment by using this command Windows. So same time we can go for the Linux and as well as the Mac operating system. So once the path of the Java environment set, so we can append the Java compiler location where the system is located in your path. So how we can find out? For Windows, so we can nothing but an appending the file whether the Java is installed. So how we can find out? That is C:/program file Java JDK 1.6.0_21 slash, you can see that bin is to the end of the system variable, we can set the path. Suppose in case you can go for the Linux and Mac is not required to set up the path, it is automatically set up the when the JDK 1.60 is installed. So no need to set up the Mac operating system. Suppose in case if using the Linux, we can set the path, that is a path equal to $path: Java_home/bin. So this is by using in your system in the Linux operating system. And verify the Java installation. So you are using which type of Java version are using to command the explained above. So this is the second setup. We have to set Java environment. And we can go by the third one, that is the setup third. We can download and install the NetBeans IDE. So this is very important because we have to run the Java JDK 1.6.0 and we have to execute the EJB concept in the NetBeans. So first you can download and install the NetBeans IDE. So we can go for the latest version of NetBeans IDE from netbeans.org. So netbeans.org, at the time of writing this tutorial, so we can download the NetBeans 7.3, which comes bundled with JDK 1.7. So using the following link, that is the www.oracle.com. So then we can using Windows NetBeans 7.3, we have to install and we can set up the JBoss application server. So we can see that JBoss 5.1.0.ga-JDK 6.0.zip file is there. So you can download the latest version of JBoss server by using www.jboss.organization to install the JBoss application server. So this is a step 1. And the step 5, we can configure the J2EE plugins to NetBeans. How we can see that? First, you can open the plugins window using the tools. So this is a toolbox plugin and open the available plugin tab and select Java EE base and EJB and EAR. So you can just click these two buttons. One is the Java EE base and EJB and EAR. Once you click this one, then NetBeans will download and install the respective plugins and verify the plugins installation using the installation tab. So you can see that. So once you click these two and close it, automatically it will be activated. So this is by using step 5. Then steps to 6, whether you configure the JBoss in server in NetBeans. So how? So go to the service tab and right click on the server to add the new server. So is there, if you see that the tab is service, so I can click this server. So we can adding the JBoss application server. So once they add the server instance, wizard will be open. So select JBoss, and in the next step, enter the relevant details to the configure server in the NetBeans. So that is, so when you just click next, that is a JBoss application server is there, then go to the next. So go for the next one. So that is you can see that is a server containing the Glassfish server 3.0. So once everything is configured, so we can see that the following screen will be available. That is a service, that is server, that is the Glassfish service 3.0 we can using. So once this screen will be available, so again, then we can install the database server, nothing but the PostgreSQL. So you can download the latest version of PostgreSQL database by using the postgresql.org, and we can install in your Windows. That is a PostgreSQL version is 9.2 is the better to execute the EJB concept. So these are the first, the system will environment setup. First install the PostgreSQL, whether you can configure the JBoss server NetBeans, and the configure the JEE plugins to in our NetBeans, and we can install the NetBeans IDE. Before that, we have to set up the Java environment, and we can find out whether the Java installation in your system. So this is the main environment setup when you execute the EJB application server. Okay, any doubt? So I can sending this PPT in Google Classroom, so we can help to set up the EJB application server. Okay. Then we can go for, that is the EJB create application. So how to create the application? So to create a simple EJB module, so we will use a NetBeans. So once the NetBeans is open, so you can create a new project in the wizard in the given below example. So we will create the EJB model project name component. So open the NetBeans IDE, select the file. So this is the new project. So you can select the Java EE. So when you click this category, Java EE, so you can see that here there is a project that is an EJB module. So this is important. We can select the project to type under the category Java EE in project type, and the EJB module will be create and go for the next clean. So we can this screen will be available in your monitor. So you can enter the project name and where you have to store the location, click it and just click the next button. Once you can give the name of the project and select the location where the project is allocated and click the next button. So you can see that which server we have to using, that is the JBoss application server. You can just add it and select the server as JBoss application server and click finish the button. So you can see that is a finish button is there. So we can see that the project created by NetBeans, that is the EJB component under the source project. Then the libraries is we are to using JDK 1.0 and the application server we are using JBoss application server. Okay, once this windows is appear, then we can create a simple EJB project. So first, to create a simple EJB, we have to using the NetBeans wizard. So first we can go for the select project EJB component in our project explorer window and right click on it and select the new under the session bin. So this is very important. So we can go for a project explorer, select the new button, click it under a category as the session bin, and we can see the new session wizard will be opened. So when enter the session bin name and the package, we can click the finish button. So you will set the EJB classes created by the NetBeans. So you can see that is a name and the location. You can enter the EJB name and the project is EJB component, and where the location will be stored, that is the source package. So I can give the new session name, that is the library session bin, that is stateless session bin, and the library session bin is local by using the local interface for the session bin. So this is the first to create the sample of EJB. So I can stop here. So tomorrow we'll go for once again. So we are to create the sample EJB with a simple write the program, how to build the project, how to start the application server and deploy the project, and what are the output of JBoss application, and how the output will send in our create the client EJB. Okay, so I can stop here.